followed by the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another chance to gather and help our school corporation make the best decisions that we can for our teachers, students, and staff. Lord, we ask that you just help guide us tonight as we make those decisions, and guide us as we start school and we make the best decisions for our students and teachers after getting back into the building. And we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call for the record. Ms. Franklin?
Here.
Mr. Basham?
Here.
Ms. Overberg, virtually? Ms. Overberg, are you here?
Here, but I'm unable to hear the board.
I'll get it figured out. Mr. Groen?
Present.
And I am present. We have quorum. One change for tonight that we'll have, since we have a virtual attendee, we will be doing individual voting instead of all voting at one time. Dr. Briggs, do you have any emergency additions or revisions to the agenda?
Yes, I do. Good evening, everyone. I have two things I want to ask the board to approve. The first one, I would like to move Roman numeral number 11, titled with community input. I would like to move that to Roman numeral number 9, please. So Roman numeral number 11, community input, move it to Roman numeral number 9, and then from there everything else would shift. The emergency additions, and I'm going to read off the original agenda here this evening to avoid further confusion. Under consent agenda C, personnel, we have added C 1.5, C 2.4, C 2.5, C 3.3, C 3.4, C 4.3, C 4.4, C 4.5, C 4.6, C 4.7. Under C, number 6, ECA, we have one addition. And under E, other, so E.2, we have the Right Choices cleaning contract. That contract was sent to us with the Sellersburg Elementary as the location, and I've asked for that to be changed to reflect the Silver Creek Primary School. We've not gotten that back yet, but I would request the board to approve that contract pending that one change. Moving on down, we have E other, we have E7, or I'm sorry, E8. The Silver Creek School Corporation return to school plan for the 21-22 school year. That would also include changes to the draft. The original draft you received under the special education section, there still is language under that section, but it has been greatly reduced as we found a lot of that was redundant from this time last school year and simply did not need to be stated. Under other E, Roman numeral 10, language update to policy 5630.01. That would actually be the first reading tonight. And then Roman numeral 11, approve adult, or I'm sorry, Roman numeral 11, and then E, Roman numeral 12. And then under discussion action items, letter C, we would, I would ask you to update policy 7440.02 and 7440.03. You guys approved that policy, I believe, in June, and so I have recommended an additional change on each of those policies, and I would ask for the final approval of that policy here this evening. That is it. Thank you.
I did have a question. Do we need to pull the Right Choices E2 into discussion and action items and vote on it separately, since it is not a smooth yes vote for consent agenda, and it
does have a language barrier.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt to do that. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
so. If you're
Let's
wondering
move that.
if we should,
Let's
I think
move
we should.
E2 to discussion and action items.
So that would become
Under
letter,
D.
That would become letter D.
Correct. All right, you've heard the superintendent recommendations. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Groen makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Ms. Franklin, do you vote yay or nay?
Yes.
Mr. Basham, yay or nay?
Yes.
Mr. Groen, yay or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg, yay or nay?
Yay.
And I vote yay. Motion carries 5-0. We have next on the agenda, number 5, we have approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting on June 6th and June 21st of 2021. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
I so move.
Mr. Groen makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Ms. Franklin, do you vote yay or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Basham, yay or nay?
Yay.
Mr. Groen, yay or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg, yay or nay?
Yay.
And I vote yay for a 5-0. Dr. Briggs, school reports?
Yes, sir. School reports recognition. First one, from July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2021, the Silver Creek Food Pantry received 37,306 pounds of food for an estimated value of $48,371.55. The Silver Creek Food Pantry is Dare to Care's Food Bank's second largest school pantry in the area last year. Congratulations and thanks to Amanda Albrand, Dee Kramer, and all the volunteers for all their hard work.
Do you stand up?
Yes.
Is Miss Albrand here? I didn't see her.
She is.
All right. We couldn't do this without Miss Kramer and Miss Albrand. It's just tremendous and phenomenal what you guys do there, and it's a lot of help to the community.
We coordinate with this community. We put a call out, like I said, 200 boxes from Amazon arrived the next day, 2 days delivery, right, to help stop that food. So this is not a Dee Kramer, Amanda Albrand thing. Thank you. It's a pretty big deal. It's out of all the Louisville schools everywhere else. We are the second largest in the whole.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you to all involved. Second is Dominic Decker was named to the 3A All-State team by the Indiana High School Baseball Coaches Association, and Holden Glover received honorable mention. Announcements: the Silver Creek Food Pantry will be open Thursday, July 22nd, and will resume their weekly schedule starting in August. From Silver Creek High School, August 2nd is freshman orientation from 4P to 6P. All freshmen and parents should plan to attend. August 5th is open house from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. From Silver Creek Middle School, July 27th is 6th grade and new student orientation at 6 p.m. From Silver Creek Elementary School, they will have grade level back to school nights. Grade 2 will be July 26th, grade 3 July 27th, grade 4 July 28th, grade 5 July 29th. And from Silver Creek Primary School, July 28th will be first grade open house from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and July 29th, kindergarten open house from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Condolences go out to Mike Sparkman on the loss of his father, and also a reminder, August 16th, 2021 is our next regularly scheduled school board meeting starting at 6:30 p.m. at Silver Creek Primary School in the PDAC room. That is it for announcements and recognition.
All right, Ms. Hawkins, Curriculum and Student Services.
Our Silver Creek Spotlight tonight. Silver Creek Middle School is excited to announce that they're going to be offering some new Project Lead the Way courses this year. There are 2 new computer science courses, computer applications and computer innovators, and also an automation and robotics class. So a big thanks to Andy Luther for all of the training that he has attended this summer to instruct these courses. A special education update. Ms. Granger could not be here tonight, but she wanted to make sure to give you guys some new information regarding the special education programming. At this point, we are still 3 teachers short. We are lacking a behavior support teacher, 1 at the elementary school and 1 at the high school, and then an intensive intervention teacher at the high school. We also still have several para positions that are still open. In order to fill these positions, we are contracting with a company called Sped Exchange. They are a recruiting agency that works only with finding special education teachers. So we're working hard to still fill those positions, but anyone that's listening, if you know anyone that would be interested in that, we would love to interview and get them into our classrooms. We have materials coming in for our new rooms, lots of materials. In fact, we've had to secure a place over at central office to store some of that. So they are rapidly arriving, and we'll be ready to get that stuff set up in our classrooms as soon as the construction is finished in those areas. Any questions regarding special education?
I have one.
Okay.
According to our agenda tonight, we lost 5 special education, either classified staff members. Is there a reason that, I mean, I know there's other school corporations that are recruiting them, are probably recruiting because of the closure of Gordon Porter and whatnot. Why are we losing staff quickly?
Sure. So I did ask Kelly about this, so I'm going to read it off of my phone, her answers here. But it looks like one of them left for a different job that paid more. Another one left for a position that was closer to her house. Another one has twins and has decided to stay home with her twins. And another one had a conflict with school. So I assume that that would be school, like they're furthering their education. So that's, I mean, some of those positions are kind of revolving doors anyways, but that's what Kelly said specifically to the 5 that are on the agenda for tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Some summer updates from central office. This summer we've been very busy preparing for the 21-22 school year, working very hard to make sure all administrators and teachers have what they need to begin the new school year. From textbooks to technology subscriptions to professional development, to reopening plans, and instructional tasks, there has been a lot of work happening behind the scenes. We have a few final things to finish up in the next week or so, but overall, we're ready to welcome back our students and staff for the beginning of the new year. This year, we're going to be offering our very first Silver Creek New Teacher Orientation on Thursday, July 29th from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Representatives from each building were approved in the spring to help lead this initiative, and they have collaborated to develop a full day for our new teachers. These teachers will learn about Silver Creek as a district, and they will also spend time in the building that they're going to be working in with their representative. We're very excited about this opportunity to show our new hires how much we value them and feel that this day will help set each new Silver Creek teacher up for success. So new teachers that are listening should expect to receive an invite in the agenda from their principal sometime later this week. We've also worked hard to stay away from our teachers and administrators as much as possible this summer to allow them to refresh and recharge. The week before school starts, though, we do have 28 teachers and administrators being trained in Orton-Gillingham. We also have multiple staff members being trained in safe crisis management for 3 days that same week. On the very first day of school, for teachers, we will offer afternoon professional development for our co-teaching teams as well as any teacher who will be administering NWEA this year. The agenda for our first day of school will be sent out within the next few days, so teachers, please be sure to start checking email for more information about that. There are multiple opportunities for families to learn about each building before school starts, as identified on the agenda tonight. So parents, please be sure to check your email, the school web pages, the corporation Facebook page, or call the school to find out more information about attending one of those events. Since this is the last regular board meeting before school starts, I'd like to take a moment to welcome all of our new families to Silver Creek and wish both our new and returning families a wonderful start to the new year.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Hawkins?
No, I do not, but also want to say thanks for adding more to project or our SCMS lead way with computer science, computer and automation and robotics. That's phenomenal to have more opportunities for our students to learn. So I really appreciate that.
Dr. Brillhart, Finances and Operations.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Members of the board, I'm going to present our numbers for the month of June. You have your claim docket in front of you. We had 2 payrolls this claim docket. In July, I do want to give the board a head up. You will have 3 payrolls in July. That's one of our 3 payroll months out of 12. They will be significantly less, though. Most of our payrolls run right around about the $400,000 range. They will be less just because we don't have a lot of classified staff, such as instructional assistants and whatnot, working over the summer. So please just expect that. And also, another additional expense you'll have in July, we will have our one of our largest fringe benefits contributions in our 403B contribution is always made in July. So again, please expect that on your claim docket for July next month in August. So getting back to the claim docket that you will be approving tonight, again, we had 2 payrolls. Payrolls totaled $794,809.96, and our total claims were $5,023,268.52 for a grand total of $5,818,078.48. For financials for June, June was a very, very unique month, probably would rival the most unique month in the entire state, in the sense that we as Silver Creek and also as Borden-Henryville received a large lump of money from West Clark, the leftover checking account, if you will, for West Clark. So in total, for the education fund, West Clark transferred their proportionate share to both Silver Creek and also, of course, Borden-Henryville. For Silver Creek, we received in our education fund $516,206.76. You'll see that reflected in your June monthly statement. In our operations fund, it was $2,261,708.50. And then in our rainy day fund was $625,000, 908.89 cents. So again, obviously, Borden-Henryville received their proportionate share as well within those 3 respective funds. For our month end in June, we receipted in, again, a large sum of that, again, is what I just read off and reflected. We receipted in total $2,348,002.62 just into our education fund. But again, that's inflated because of obviously the money that we received from West Clark. We had total expenditures in our education fund of $932,379.43, leaving us with a grand total fund balance in our education fund of $7,736,821.05. But again, as I reminded the board every month, please expect in either September or October, we will do that massive fund transfer into the joint service fund, which at month end in June is still on pace for between 2.8 and about 2.9 million. Okay, so again, just deduct that from that total cash balance to give a more accurate number. In our operations fund, of course, our month of June was actually technically our first official levy that we received as West Clark as well. So again, don't think this is normal. Okay, these receipts are not normal. So for Silver Creek for the month of June, we receipted in $4,583,997.34. About half of that was our levy that we received, obviously, from the county. So again, the easy way to think of it is that half of that that levy amount has to last us for 6 months, roughly. So, and then we had total expenditures in our operations fund. $459,880.65, leaving us with a grand total of $4,631,209.01, of which will continually go down because again we won't receive another levy until December, of course. So, and I would entertain any questions from the board whatsoever on the financials from June and the July docket.
I have just a question on, since our operations fund is pretty healthy right now, do we still plan to do transfers from the educational fund to the operations fund on a monthly basis?
Yeah, so on the agenda tonight is resolution R11, which is a continuation of your 15% transfer from education operation. You can always change that if you wish. Obviously, that's something that the board will entertain and change come this after bargaining, of course, once we know what our final expenditures are on our biggest expense. And then as we enter into 2022, you have the autonomy to do that. Now, you can table this resolution if you want. You could change it in August if you wanted to. But as a formality, you need to approve a resolution for the first 6 months and for the last 6 months. But again, in theory, in October, you could adopt resolution R12 and change it to a 5% transfer if you wanted to. I'm going to recommend continuing to do 15%, and the only reason is just because, again, that lack of, you've heard me say it once and I'll say it again, just that lack of historical data that we just don't have as a corp. It would be easy to transfer monies back in the education fund, but we want to make sure we fully fund that fund, obviously moving forward. So as much as we possibly
So money can be transferred back from the operational fund to the education fund with
by resolution. Yes, sir, you can. Yes, sir. And you can do that in just one swab. It's no different than making a transfer from your rainy day fund to any fund that you so desire.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. At this time, we moved community input up to section 9. If we have anybody in the audience, you can step to the podium, state your name, how you were a stakeholder. A stakeholder is either someone that has a student enrolled in a Silver Creek school or is a taxpayer in this community. At that time, you can step up. Huh? Okay. So if we have more than one, then you can just line up along the wall back there. We can have up to 5 speakers. You get 3 minutes to speak. And Dr. Brillhart, will you be our timer?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Angela Reeves, and I live at 3015 Julian Drive, and I have 2 children in the Silver Creek High School. I live in New Albany, although we've been at Silver Creek schools for approximately 8 years. I prepared a few words to say regarding my concerns over what I predict may be the next phase of the COVID-19 pandemic. Compulsory vaccination for our children to attend public schools. As a community, we are standing at a precipice over what was certainly soon to be implemented of this mandate. Colleges across Indiana, IU, Notre Dame, Butler, and others are implementing vaccine mandates for students and employees. Just today, a judge came against IU students standing up for their right to medical choice. Our right to decide what medical services and pharmacological products that we participate with is paramount to personal liberty. Public health is a concern that I understand. I have been a nurse for 25 years, and I have a master's degree in health administration with a minor in nursing education. But these mandates are not justified. Recommending medical treatment is outside of the scope of public education and should be handled between families and their providers. While we agree with other infection control measures, forcing the jab is crossing the line. You made your position clear when you allowed the health department to hold the vaccine clinic in school last semester, so I'm not asking your opinions about it. The Silver Creek School Board can listen to its constituents right now and decide to either help us maintain our health freedoms or play a part in pushing a dangerous medical overreach on our children. I appreciate all the hard work that this school board has done over the years. You've tried to make building improvements, had to make some hard choices about the district, grown in sports programs, of which I'm a big fan. Dealing with COVID-19, I paid attention to your hard work. My children have participated in great programs here: band, soccer, cheer, travel club. I'm just a concerned mother, and I want to be heard, and I thank you for the opportunity. It is my request that the board take action to reject any attempts to implement compulsory vaccination or vaccine passports for the children that attend this public school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input.
Anyone else? All right, Dr. Briggs, consent agenda.
Okay, thank you. Under consent agenda, A, finances, we have A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8. Under B, instruction, we have B1, field trips. Under C, personnel. C1, certified appointments, we have C11, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. Under personnel, certified resignations, number 2, we have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. Under 3, classified appointments.
Can I stop you right?
Yep.
On my agenda, under certified appointments, you stopped at 5, but I show we have 6. And under certified resignations, 2, I show 4 and not 5.
Oh, no, you're right. Yep. I'm looking at the wrong copy. Thank you. So again, under C, personnel, under certified appointments, we have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. Under 2, certified resignations, we have 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. Under 3, classified appointments, we have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. And under classified resignations, we have 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7. Under terminations, we have none. Under 6, ECA, we have 1. And under 7, leaves and retirements, we have none. Under D, technology, none. And under E, other, we have E.1, .2, E.3, E.4, E.5, E.6, E.7, E.8.
E.8's been moved to discussion.
E.8's been moved to discussion, thank you. E.9, E.10, E.11, and E.12. That is it for the consent agenda.
Do we have any questions or any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Franklin makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Ms. Franklin, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Basham?
Yay.
Mr. Groen?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg?
Yay. Yay.
Ms. Overberg's a yay, and I'm a yay. Motion carries 5-0. In our discussion and action items, I just want to say that over the last couple of weeks, we, as a board and as a administrative team at central office, met with and have interviewed 4 companies to serve as our construction manager by constructor, and a lot of great companies that came in and gave great presentations. For the board as a whole, I believe there was one that just kind of set the bar a little bit higher than others with their experience. And tonight we're going to ask for a request to approve Skillman Construction as the CMC for the Silver Creek building projects. Any discussion before we go to vote? We have a motion to approve Skillman as our CMC for the Silver Creek building projects. Mr. Basham makes a motion. Mr. Groen, do you second?
I'll second.
Mr. Groen seconds.
Yay.
Mr. Basham?
Yay.
Mr. Groen?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg?
Yay.
I heard it. It was faint, but I heard it. And I'm a yay. Motion carries 5-0. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to Brad Skillman of Skillman Constructors, our construction. If you want to just come up, say a little bit, about your company, what you plan to do for us, and how this process, you're going to see these guys around campus for the next couple of years. So just remember the face, and I'm sure you'll be back giving updates once shovels go in the ground.
Absolutely. President Roundtree, Dr. Briggs, members of the board, on behalf of the Skillman team, my name is Brad Skillman, I'm president of Skillman Corporation, and on behalf of the team, I just want to say thank you for this great opportunity. Skillman Corporation, it's an employee-owned company. We've been around for 49 years, specializing in public construction, most of that being K-12. We are very excited to get started. We're going to jump in right away with your designers, CSO, and get started and catch up, because you're ahead of us. So we need to get some of that institutional knowledge, play a little catch up, and as the construction manager for Silver Creek Schools will be the single point of responsibility for budget, schedule, quality, and safety. So our team is very excited to get started. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
In your packet, you've on to XB under discussion and action items. You've seen the pay scales for approval for the Director of Facilities and the Human Resource Specialist, the administrative stipends, and the stipends for advanced degrees. This time, do we have any discussions on the pay scales for that or the administrative stipends for advanced degrees?
I have discussion.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's two positions, because the Director of Facilities is managing the day-to-day me personally, is managing the day-to-day operation of all 4 of our buildings and all of our athletic facilities, basically managing each site director. I think the building project manager stipend that we've included is to be a body that is working just specifically with Skillman and CSO and the building principals on the day-to-day of construction projects. I think, in my opinion, I think they're 2 separate roles. But also, just to be clear, this Director of Facilities and Human Resource Specialist is our Director of Human Resources and Operations, Todd Voigt, has resigned earlier this month. And what we're doing is we're just splitting that into 2 different positions.
Who currently is getting the stipend and doing is that Coach or AD Dablo? He's doing the facility
For building projects.
Projects, correct.
He was the one that was approved for the stipend for building project manager.
Yeah, and let me clarify, you guys already, in the last board meeting, approved individuals getting the stipends. All we're doing tonight is we're placing that on this pay scale for you to approve the pay scale in its entirety.
I think the amount of projects that we have going and the amount of athletic facilities that we have being completed, it would be very important to have, I call him Coach Dablo because he was coach for a long time here, involved in that planning process and with the design team. And so I would support both eyes and ears on that, even with the new position being developed.
I think we definitely have 2 separate positions. As a Director of Facilities, when they come on, first, they're going to have to learn our entire campus. I think they could also provide input or knowledge to CSO in that position, but I don't think that's something they should have inside their
I think we could definitely evaluate that, on a year-to-year basis. But being that Coach Dablo,
that's correct.
Yeah, being that Coach Dablo is already kind of in the design process, he's been meeting with CSO since the beginning. I think that's important, especially as we catch everybody else up to speed. We don't exactly know for sure when this Director of Facilities person would hit the ground running. So there would be kind of a catch-up curve. So definitely I think it's needed at this time juncture.
But you also have to think too that the director of facilities is going to have a new role that they're learning and trying to manage at the same time. So again, as I said, I feel it is two separate positions. Any other questions on the administrative stipends or the stipends for advanced degrees? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve XB?
I make the motion.
Mr. Groen makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Basham seconds. Ms.
Yay.
Franklin? Mr. Basham?
Yeah.
Mr. Groen?
Yay.
Ms. The language for policy 7440.02 and 7440.03.
Yes, sir. On 7440.03, that is the Silver Creek School Corporation technology devices to students. That is where we offer the optional insurance coverage. Last year, this coverage has remained the same price, $30 for policy, so to speak. The one change is last year, if a student had to cash in on that policy, where they broke their Chromebook, dropped it, what have you, in order to continue having insurance, they would have to repay the premium again of $30. My recommendation is we make that a one-time premium of $30, and then if the kid has to fix it twice, he fixes it twice under that same policy.
Is that using the insurance company that Jerry got the
No,
quotes
we
on?
will continue to self-insure.
Self-insure.
Yeah, we put bids out, got 2 other companies to bid, and for all, their prices were within $1 above or below, but for all practical purposes, they were the same price. And we would still have to fix them ourselves. So right now, our tech crew does an amazing job. They're a well-oiled machine on that from what I hear, so I think we keep doing that.
Is there a maximum number of times that someone can break that device?
Well, no, to answer your question, but I mean,
bulletproof case?
well, there is not a maximum. Based on the 1-year data that we have, it happened, I'm wanting to say maybe a handful of times. And I think we just deal with that as we go through this next school year. And if we find that a significant percentage of our kids are all thumbs, or butterfingers, slippery hands, then maybe next year we do put a cap on that to where if you have to use it X number of times, then you would have to pay the premium again. But right now it's not an issue. And I think, for me personally, I just felt like, hey, you dropped it, we fixed it, now give $30 more. My fear would be some people may not be able to do that. So now we've got a device that's uninsured, and if it's dropped again, then.
Are parents able to kind of privately insure that device, like outside with a third-party warranty, if they so chose?
I believe they could if they had a provider. I think so. My past experience is you could go through your homeowners sometimes, but it all depends on your insurance provider.
But as of now, it's $30. Cross
If they
your fingers,
choose.
if they choose to do
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, based on one year data so far, it's not been enough to say, well, we should not do this.
Yeah. And I commend you and Rachel Overberg and Jerry for researching that. I know that took a little bit of time, but I know that a lot of thought went into that to actually kind of make sure that our parents weren't getting hit with a hard cost every single time Johnny dropped his technology laptop on the way home. So, good deal.
Okay.
Does this also include, with the new rewrite of the policy, that staff will not have to pay the 30? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the next policy that I'm about to speak on.
That's 03.
Okay. So moving on to the 7440.02 Silver Creek technology devices to staff members. Yeah, very similar policy as how it was. Is a staff member would pay $30. If they needed to cash in on that policy, then in order to maintain it, they would have to repay the $30. I have 2 thoughts on that. One, just like I just explained with the students, a one-time premium fee, but then I also say to our to our teachers, our employees, we're not asking them if they want a device. We're telling them, you have to have this device. It's part of doing business. It's one of their tools in their toolboxes. I don't believe it's appropriate to even offer the insurance to them. If teacher X drops it, then guess what? Me as their employer, I'm going to take care of it. Now, if I find Chad Briggs' teacher is dropping it every other month, then Chad Briggs and I are going to sit down and have a talk about it and see what's going on. So I don't feel that to our employees that it even ought to be an option. I think as their employer, we should just cover that.
Good idea.
I like the idea.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you listening to my concerns, and I really like these changes that have been made.
Great. Yep. Thank you for your input.
All right, XC under discussion action items. We have the update to policy 7440.02, student devices, and 7440.03, staff devices. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Franklin makes the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Basham?
Yay.
Mr. Groen?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg?
Yay.
I vote yay. Motion carries 5-0. Anybody have anything that they, anybody have anything they want to say as far as administrative staff or board before we ask for an adjournment?
You need to do the
D.
cleaning, the right choices.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, hold on. I apologize. I marked it off of one and did not write it in. We need to go XD, which is the actual policy for right choices cleaning. The only difference from what we have in our board packet is addressing it as Silver Creek instead of Sellersburg. Do we have any discussion on that before we vote? If not, do we have a motion to approve right choices cleaning contract?
Also move.
Mr. Basham makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Franklin seconds. Ms. Franklin, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Basham?
Yay.
Mr. Groen?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg?
Yay.
Yay, motion carries 5-0. All right, let me rewind. Anybody have anything they want to say before we ask for a motion for adjournment?
One thing I would just point out is, can we make sure that all the administrators, principals all have a Silver Creek School Corporation document letterhead when it comes to hiring? Yep.
We had that conversation today.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say for the public to really stay in tune with what we're going to be working on the next several months on our building project. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be a challenging time for our building heads to manage their buildings once the projects get underway. But the high school is about 30 years past due, and I made the comment it's a little more relaxing to worry about one school and instead of bumping heads with two other communities when there's truly a need. The people in Sellersburg really took a stand and realized that we needed this. It was very refreshing not to have a remonstrance filed against the project. So stay tuned.
I just a couple
Brad's got
things.
his hands full.
Sorry to interrupt you. Just a couple things. Mrs. Reeves, thank you for coming and speaking tonight. Anytime we have public input, we welcome that. We'd like to hear from our community. As we move forward in the next couple weeks, it's a very busy time. Our administrators and everybody's working really hard to get the doors open at our schools. And there isn't anybody up here that would say that student safety, staff safety isn't paramount in anything that we're taking into consideration. And so as we move forward, the situation will be monitored and fluid, and we'll do the best we can to make sure that student and staff safety is paramount and priority number one. I also wanted to state too, we had a mention about special education, some of those positions resigning. I think what probably was not mentioned in that conversation is that we are still trying to maintain being competitive in our wage department on all avenues and positions within our district. It's not something that because we don't mention up here right now, that's not in our focus. We have a lot of catching up to do in those areas, and we're addressing them one at a time. And so we will continue to look at those reasons why when people resign, and if it is pay and related matters, then we need to still be competitive. And so we're working on that. And I just want everybody to know that just because it's not maybe addressed in this meeting in particular, that it's not something that we're not doing.
I'd like to kind of tear off Joe and just say, hey, look forward to the projects coming soon. I'd like to welcome the new families coming to Silver Creek School Corporation, even the families that are having kindergartners come here. So welcome to Silver Creek School Corporation. Welcome back teachers and administrators. I also want to welcome Chad Briggs to his first school board meeting. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I also want to highlight, Lisa, thank you so much again for the onboarding for the teachers. I think it's very important for our new teachers to learn the Silver Creek School Corporation ins and out, because our teachers have done so well, and myself included came here for that. So I think it's a great thing, and then we can have the older teachers help them out, and I really appreciate that. So that's good.
Ms. Overberg, do you have anything?
Not at this time.
All right. Just want to welcome everybody back. This, as someone mentioned earlier, this is our last school board meeting before we return to school. Hopefully this school year's transition is a little bit easier than it was last year. We know that there's still some nuances out there with the pandemic and whatnot, but I thank you again for last year and the resilience that you had as staff members to finish out the year. Again, Ms. Kramer, Ms. Albrand, and just everybody at SCHS on the food pantry, just what a great honor it is to have the second highest producing pounds out there. And that goes to the Silver Creek community as well for supporting it. And if we have nothing else at this time, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment. Ms. Franklin makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Franklin, how do you vote?
Yay.
Mr. Basham?
Yeah.
Mr. Groen?
Yay.
Ms. Overberg?
Yay.
Yay.